It's probably not too long after it sort of came out, and then around that time I was also working with the national teams, and national team football is really great, but you get a lot of downtime in between. So yeah, once I started, fair to say, like most people, it was you're all in. I love the concept, and very similar to kind of what I was doing at the time, but also an extension of that because you had a little bit of freedom in the game to kind of do things that in real life doesn't allow you to do. Oh, look, I think like most, I love taking the small club all the way to the highest possible levels, and I guess the one for me was Southend United. The only reason I picked them was because they were the closest I could find to South Melbourne, the club I grew up and played with. So the South was in the name, and took them all the way to a Champions League. And my greatest moment, but also my biggest heartbreak, is they sacked me 6 months later when I was expecting a statue. So just goes to show. I took on the big clubs as well, but that kind of success wasn't as fulfilling. But then it was about trying to sort of find the next star, and I was pretty aggressive transfer wise. I didn't sit on players for too long and was constantly moving around. So I had fair few successes. I mean, I went down the Freddie Adu rabbit hole, which everyone does, and he was unbelievable. But also because of my background, I was kind of national youth team manager. I went to 6 World Youth Cups. There was a lot of young players I saw when they were 17 and 18, and they were popping up on Footballmanager and as young talent, and I love grabbing hold of them. People like Carlos Vela and others, and taking them all the way to the top. With Footballmanager, you saw the effect that data had, and I think in many respects it was a precursor to kind of where recruitment and transfer dealings went to. So I love that. Just having such a massive database of players, at the touch of a finger, and it pretty much has become real life now. When you're talking about as a real life manager trying to recruit players, that's your starting point. And football's evolved over time, but it's always been about my team having the ascendancy in terms of having more of the ball, but also, more of the ball in the attacking half. So it's how can I create a tactical formation and a system that allows my team to have more of the ball in the attacking half of the opposition. So it wasn't just about keeping possession. It was about saying, well, now can we create more chances in the opposition? Can we play the game in the opposition half? And even today, when I'm on the touchline, I just doesn't sit well with me when the opposition have the ball, and it certainly doesn't sit well with me when they have the ball in our defensive half. So that's kind of the foundations of them that I've had along the way. It's a bit like the reason people sort of play a game like Footballmanager. It takes them into this world that they dream about, and it's the same with footballers. I kind of try and paint the picture that we're going to play football that they wanted to play when they were kids. When you're out in the street or out in the in the park, and you've got the shirts down for the goalpost and you're playing 5v5, you're not worried about tactics or playing zonal or staying off the opposition. You just want the ball and you just want to play. A lot of what we do and what I do is trying to feed into that part of every footballer to say, well, let's take it back to where it all started and create a system and like I said, a way of playing that allows them to do the things they love to do. Every footballer loves to do: have the ball, be creative, score goals, be exciting. There's a lot of hard work that goes into that. There's a lot of discipline that goes into that. But most players respond because we train, all the time with that intent in mind. That our training's around, well, let's get on the ball and try and create something special. So that's kind of what underpins everything we do.